What's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to be showing you a day in my life as to what I do, how I run my business, how I do bodybuilding, etc. So stay tuned. Right now I'm just doing my check-ins. As you can probably see, I gotta send pictures to my coach. I do this every Wednesday. So yeah, stay tuned. So I've done my check-ins and then immediately after that I have my morning supplements. Which are like more hormone based, not steroids obviously. Things like ashwagandha. Now you might be wondering, why do I have ashwagandha early in the morning? Because it's an adaptogen and it's probably based on personality types. I tend to be like a really calm person, so it's more of like an upper for me in the morning. So I usually use Himalayas ashwagandha. No, I'm not sponsored by it. Then Gokshura, which is the tribute test booster. I just use it because I have it, otherwise I wouldn't give two fucks about it. So let me, oops, it comes in the form of this. Here you go. Then I take progesterone, pregnenolone. I don't really know how to pronounce this properly. But why do I take pregnenolone? Because it's a neurosteroid. Because when you take steroids, basically even exogenous testosterone, what happens is your own neurosteroids tend to get suppressed, which are like the steroids produced in the brain, which are involved for mood, cognition, etc. And then it's by MRM Nutrition. So here you go. Right? So that's more of like just for brain health, mood, etc. And that basically is it. I just click my check-in photos. I'm going to be showing you my check-in photos right now. From here, we are just going to be checking our blood pressure. And because I'm 8 weeks out from my long-term cut. So yeah, I'm going to be showing you everything behind the scenes, right? Other than the fact on what I'm injecting. So yeah, stay tuned. So I'm going to be showing you like what I do in my kitchen. Well, I cook, duh. But I gotta be checking my blood pressure before I check my blood pressure, I am just gonna be filling in my water. One of my hobbies, if you're active on my social media, you probably must know, it is dates. It's one of my favorite fruits, right? So what I'm currently doing right now is I'm drying different types of dates, okay? They usually come fresh from the farm, but when you dry them in an oven, right, on this particular setting, they become, the sugars crystallize, caramelize, and then you let it cool down. So these are like different types of dates basically, right? Yeah. Why do I like doing this? I mean, why do I like dates? Because when you've been dieting for like a fucking year, right? And then you finally go inside your gaining phase, inside your off-season phase. Right, you like chocolate, but you end up realizing that chocolate doesn't really satisfy you. So, yeah. Now, enough of seeing my ugly mug. Right, now I'm gonna be showing you what I do. Let me just adjust the fucking camera. There you go. I hope that's good. There you go. So, I usually like to drink something like 6 to 7 liters of water, and I like to stack this up with like a little bit of taurine, white taurine, because when I was cutting I was taking like Clem, and when you take Clem gives you a lot of cramps, but I didn't use the full taurine, right? So what happened was I had some of it left. So right now what I do is I simply put it in my first intake of water throughout the day, and I simply sip on it, and that basically is it. I haven't noticed any particular benefits in my off-season phase because my electrolytes are pretty much well balanced. That's good. Then I measure my salt intake because you want to make sure that your sodium to potassium ratio is pretty much good. So what do? I usually take something like 10 grams of salt per day. So that probably gives me something like 5,000 to 7,000 milligrams of sodium, including like excluding soy sauce, etc. And I get like 6,000 to 7,000 grams of potassium from whole foods. So yeah, let me just show you guys as to what I actually do. Here you go. And I sometimes tend to mix it up. So this is like iodized salt, okay? That is like iodized salt. Thing about iodized salt is it ensures that your thyroid production is up to date. And then sometimes I like to mix it up with a little bit of pink Himalayan salt. But the thing about pink Himalayan salt is it doesn't really have that much iodine. So yeah, now when your thyroid hormones are up to date, your metabolism is going to be functioning properly. You're going to be able to metabolize the carbs, proteins and fats nicely. It helps you produce the deiodinized enzymes. So yeah, sorry, I'm just going to be randomly blabbering because this morning routine of mine is usually uninterrupted. But right today, while I was doing my morning routine, I was like, fuck it, let me just show a day in my life, right? Then what I do after that is have my morning electrolyte drink. So let me just show you what does it actually contain. So here we go. I put in something like 4 grams of creatine. There you go. Any cheap creatine on the market is good. You don't want to go out of your way to buy a specific brand. Creatine monohydrate is the best. I put in 1 tablet of electrolyte. Agmatine sulfate. This is, it's going to be converted to, what is it going to be converted to? It's going to be converted to, I don't know the exact science behind it, but I think so. It's a nootropic. Maybe not. But fuck's sake, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna, I think so. It's a precursor for arginine. Something like 700 milligrams of magnesium citrate. Always good to have a surplus of magnesium. I usually prefer magnesium glycinate, but citrate is good enough as well. Then N-acetylcysteine basically. N-acetylcysteine is going to be converted to glutathione, which is a very potent antioxidant inside the body. Glutathione and vitamin C work cyclically side by side. So here's the thing, right? When you're taking something like steroids of any sort, you want to be on top of your routine and your schedule basically. So we're going to be having a sip of this, and then after this we're going to be checking our blood pressure because we're going to be reporting back to my coach. And then I'm gonna yeah, have a shot. Maybe I'll probably do it before training or before I go to the gym. And yeah, crack on with my day, produce some content, do some client check-ins, etc., etc., etc. Good stuff. This might be weird, but I'm one of those guys who sometimes likes to chew on an electrolyte tablet, like half of it. It's just one weird habit that I picked up during a caloric deficit. So yeah, that basically is it. Excuse me if I'm too silent, I just like to sit there and enjoy my drink, so yeah. So my resting heart rate is something like at 76 beats per minute, which is still high. But when I was coming out of a cut, right, it was at something like 85 beats per minute. So what my coach has done right now is, we have added in HIIT cardio, 4x4 Norwegian style, I don't really know how to pronounce it. So 4 minutes of high intensity work, 3 minutes of rest, and that basically is it. It fucking kills you. I usually do this on like the rowing machine or like the assault bike, but I haven't really had the time to do it in the assault bike because that's in the gym. The rowing machine is in my building gym, so I prefer to use that. But the aim is to get it down in the mid 60s by something like in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Let's probably see. So yeah, but right now we're going to be checking our blood pressure. So my dad is a heart patient. So let me just adjust it. Yesterday's blood pressure reading was something like 106/69. So let's see. Oops. Alright guys, I'm going to be doing this in a calm and relaxed state, then I'll show you guys my blood pressure later, okay? What the fuck is up? So in case if you probably look at it, here you go. 102.67. So yeah, anyways, my battery is running out, so I gotta charge this piece of shit. So stay tuned. So from here, like I usually have my Americano. My Americano is usually made up of wait a second, let me just adjust it like I'm fucking talking to the camera, right? So my Americano is usually made up of what is it made up of? It's made up of instant coffee, Nescafe. You know what? Making expensive coffee, it's a pain in the ass. You gotta first filter out that shit, blah blah blah. And weirdly, I like the taste of instant coffee. There's red light about me. Why? Because I simply have it, not because of some Andrew Ebum biohacking shit. I don't know if it's made a difference, but there's also like another red light in the background. There's also a daylight. I don't know if you can probably see it. Wait, let me just show you. There you go. Because the first half of the day is spent working, checking up on clients, producing content, etc. And then that's, yeah, I just enjoy it basically. So, yeah. I'm going to be showing you what my meals are like next, so stay tuned. I already taken my testosterone shot. After this, I'm going to be injecting my peptides. What are my peptides? Before my workout, L-carnitine, glutathione, SS31, and NAD+. That basically is it. So these are just like mitochondrial support stacks. Why? Because I have it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to go and get it. So yeah. So I'll just show you what my work probably looks like. Wait a second. Here you go. Right, this is just me going through online clients technique footage. Wait, this is a client who sent me images for abs. So if I was to analyze this, put a pad underneath your upper back if you can, as that gives a better stretch, and think of breathing out harder on the way up, but very fucking good. So this is exactly how I analyze clients' footage. You need to go slow on the way down. Don't pause between reps. Pause on top for a second. Use a lighter weight. Don't get sloppy as the set gets harder. So you gotta give feedback to the client so that they get the best possible service, right? It's not only about the training, it's not only about the nutrition, it's not only about anything else basically. So you want to look at the first few reps, you want to look at the last few reps, and yeah, that basically is order straps. So I answer client queries basically. So yeah, so that's one. What else? The other thing is I put my physique shots together, then I probably decide so as you can probably see, right? This is something like at 48 kilos, this is something like at 51 kilos. I put my physique shots together, I decide, should I upload my social media content, should I not put my social media content? I don't like putting pictures of myself on social media, not a huge fan of it. I usually like to produce more educational content, but because at heart I'm usually like a bit of a coach, right? I like to teach people, but sadly sometimes teaching doesn't sell, right? If I upload an educational reel about what steroids I'm taking, what peptides I'm taking, etc., that tends to go a bit more viral, right? If I tend to upload a reel or even content about like training, nutrition, etc., it sadly doesn't do it, right? I mean, that's human psychology. You can piss and moan about it, but hey, at the end of the day, I'm gonna do my best to add in as much value to the world. I usually like to work fasted from something like 12 p.m. to something like 3 p.m. In the middle, I like to go out for walks. What else? So yeah, stay tuned. Around this time I produce some content because I gotta put out like one piece of content on Instagram per day basically. So yeah. So around this time, something like after an hour and a half, I like to go for like a bit of a walk, because a walk without any distractions, like no fucking podcast or something like that. Around this time, I sometimes just walk for the sake of it. Pull in like, what do I eat? Get like a Diet Pepsi or something like that, and this just helps me think of content ideas. Get some sunlight, and that basically is it. So I've been lately training myself to use the staircase. Why? Because I've been reading a lot about samurai stories, self-help stories, etc. And yeah, just practicing delayed gratification, discipline, and when I do get the things that I want, I try balance it in every particular area. So, because the whole point is you want to treat your muscle building phase with the same amount of discipline like your cutting phase. That basically is the secret. So this is basically what the normal area of Dubai looks like. This is like sunlight. I like to go for like a bit of a walk, focus on my breathing, not because it has some fat loss benefits, blah blah blah, but I just like to be present while I'm walking. It just helps like some really good ideas pop at the back of my head, and yada yada yada. Let me just show you how the Indian area of Dubai looks like. Right, here you go. Yep. What am I going to purchase right now? So after like a year of dieting, right, what happened was my relationship with food weirdly changed. So right now I crave for more meats, whole foods. Like, it's absolutely fucking weird, right? So I like beef kidney, beef liver, lamb kidney, lamb liver. So let me try the balls of lamb, right? Because a lot of golden era bodybuilders, right, they would eat that stuff. So yeah, I like chicken breast. I love shrimp, prawns, etc. So yeah, let's see. So around this time, this is me like prepping my meals. These are lamb testicles. Weirdly, I like organ meats, and this is chicken breast. I'm going to be stacking it up with, what am I going to say? I'm going to be eating like vegetables. Fuck it, let me just put the whole chicken breast, right? 182 grams, right? Vegetables and potatoes, because I truly like whole food. So when I cook, I like to cook alone by myself. But stay tuned with regards to how the meals turn out to be. With regards to things, these are what my meals look like. Usually I like to keep it super simple. This is cabbage, tomatoes, lamb testicles, and chicken breast with potatoes. Right? I really enjoy organ meats. No, I'm not trying to be macho or whatever, but after like a year of dieting, my relationship with food is, I mean, it's nice. So I'm happy with it. It might seem weird to some people, but actually enjoy what I truly eat. And yeah, from here I'm gonna go to the gym. Today's gonna be a busy day because my parents are coming back to Dubai, right? So Before the gym, I am going to be pinning my peptide, like a pre-workout peptide. I was supposed to do it in the morning, but hey, the aim is to be consistent and flexible. So yeah, stay tuned with my journey. So from here, I go to the gym, and while I'm driving to the gym, I either listen to a podcast on business marketing, or bodybuilding, or mindset, or Vietnam, right? No, I'm not trying to be an alpha or whatever. Someone like me is the least alpha guy ever. But someone like me has made a promise to himself that, like, I'm gonna do bodybuilding for myself. I'm gonna coach my clients at the highest possible level. I'm gonna do my best every day. The second thing is I want to learn about business, social media marketing, etc. because I'm a good coach, but sadly, a lot of people who are knowledgeable, know how to help people, don't really get a lot of exposure. So trying to make my weakness into a weapon. And then what else? Yeah, Vietnam, because in the long term, that's one of the places that I want to live at, between Dubai and Vietnam. And mindset, because I've neglected self-development from the mental health side of things for years, basically. So that basically is it. This is my car, Nissan Altima. And today I'm going to be training legs, so I don't like to record my training footage, but I'll be adding in some sets of the basic compound exercises so that you guys can have a look at things. So stay tuned. After that, I got to go to the police station because somebody crashed my car. My parents are coming today, and yada yada yada. So have a nice one. So I finished my leg workout right now, and I mean today was a very stressful day. My parents have come right now, and so while I usually have like my meals, right, I have like Chronometer open, and Chronometer is a food tracking application, and yeah, that basically is it, you know. So what am I going to be eating? I'm going to be eating a potato. It's one of my favorite carb. So this probably looks like give or take 150 grams. It turned out to be something like 133 grams, right? So the thing that I usually do in order for me, let me just show you guys, right? The thing that I usually do in order for me to not fuck around, right, after a diet, like obviously right now I've developed the skill of being disciplined, but I look at the food source and I guesstimate its weight, and then I guesstimate its calories before I even put it in on the food scale, so that you want to develop that intuition, right? That's like a very, very good skill to have like a healthy relationship with food, basically. So that basically is it. And then on top of that, I'm going to be stacking up some chicken breast. So why chicken breast? Because it's one of my favorite meats. Let's see what the fuck is. Well, where's the chicken breast? Oh my god. Okay. Ah, for fuck's sake, I think so. I've not added in chicken breast, so let me just search for it. Sorry for that, that sort of like worried me, right? Around the fact that I did have chicken breast. I usually don't like to overthink my meals, right? When it comes to my meals, I usually like to keep it simple foods, because that's what like a year of dieting does to you, right? It sort of changes your relationship with food, right? So the way I like to do it is I like to chop the chicken breast into small little pieces, and that basically is it. So let me just input, well, how much do I feel like having right now, because I feel a bit hungry, right? So I think give or take I'd like to have something like 150 to 180 grams of raw chicken breast. Let me just see. This probably looks like 220 grams. Let's see. 180 grams I feel like having, basically. This will probably be something 120, 165, so 180. Yeah, there you go. So let me just see the protein intake of one. Alright, fuck it, let's probably go up. This will probably give it a bit 215, 210. There you go, it's 213. So 213 grams of raw chicken breast will probably give me something like 270 calories, 245, give or take plus or minus. So yeah, it's 212. That basically is it. So when I'm in Dubai, right, I prefer to track my meals, basically. While I'm in Dubai, I prefer to track my meals and eat foods that I like. I genuinely prefer to eat at home. Why? Because I enjoy eating whole foods. Like, you only eat outside only when you feel like it or when you need it, basically. But right now, my calories are high enough, so I actually tend to cook the foods that I actually enjoy. And whether you're in a steroid cycle, whether you're not in a steroid cycle, you always got to be eating healthy year round, basically. That's because, and then every now and then, like once in a while, you might want to have like a free meal here and there, basically. But other than that, like, you don't want to overcomplicate things, right? Bodybuilding is pretty simple. Eat whole foods, stick to your macros, train progressively, don't change your program, and that basically is it, right? What I like to do is I like to poke holes in my potatoes and put it in the microwave because that's what keeps it simple, right? I usually microwave for something like 4 to 5 minutes. So let's probably add in some vegetables as well because I did train weights today. What sort of vegetables am I looking for? So when it comes to vegetables, I usually like to keep it anywhere between something like 600 to 700 grams per day. Let me just see how many. I mean, I ate something like 124, something like 300. What's it? Something like 316 grams of vegetables. So fuck it, I might as well add in something like another. Let's see, let's say like another 150 grams of vegetables, because for dinner it's like one of my favorite meals, right? Dates with casein, whole foods, and dates with casein mixed with mashed carrot, right? When you mash carrots, like it becomes like really, really sweet. This more or less will probably come up to be at 150. There you go, it's 149 sharp. Which would probably give me something like 30 calories, 26 calories, bingo, there you go. Right? Guesstimation is a very crucial skill that you need to develop because you just don't want to be relying on food tracking, because what's going to happen when you go in social situations, right? So that basically is it. I'll probably stack up some peppers. Being Indian, I mean, your gut's gonna be like fucking bulletproof, right? So that's one of the benefits, right, of Indian genetics. So then, this is the amount of peppers. Basically, this will probably be something like 60, 70 grams, basically. That's 112 grams. So 112 grams of raw pepper will probably give me something like 25 calories, 26 calories, let's see. Bingo, it's 22, right? So that basically is it. We probably put these vegetables inside the fridge. Again, you won't be needing them for a long time right now. I like to like slightly shallow fry my vegetables basically. Why do I like to do that? Because it makes it a bit more crispy. The potatoes are done. It's become nice and soft. Let's wait for it. Right, so guys, I am going to be pausing the video because I like to do my cooking alone. Hope you guys understand, but I'll show you what the end product looks like. Sorry for that. That sort of like worried me, right? Around the fact that I did have chicken breast. I usually don't like to overthink my meals, right? When it comes to my meals, I usually like to keep it simple foods because that's what like a year of dieting does to you, right? It sort of changes your relationship with food, right? So the way I like to do it is I like to chop the chicken breast into small little pieces, and that basically is it. So let me just input, well, how much do I feel like having right now, because I feel a bit hungry, right? So I think, give or take, I'd like to have something like 150 to 180 grams of raw chicken breast. Let me just see. This probably looks like 220 grams. Let's see. 180 grams I feel like having basically. This will probably be something 120, 165, so 180. Yeah, there you go. So let me just see the protein intake of one. Alright, fuck it, let's probably go up. This will probably give it 215, 210. There you go, it's 213. So 213 grams of raw chicken breast will probably give me something like 270 calories, 245, give or take plus or minus. So yeah, it's 212. That basically is it. So when I'm in Dubai, right, I prefer to track my meals basically. While I'm in Dubai, I prefer to track my meals and eat foods that I like. I genuinely prefer to eat at home. Why? Because I enjoy eating whole foods. Like, you only eat outside only when you feel like it or when you need it basically. But right now my calories are high enough, so I actually tend to cook the foods that I actually enjoy. And whether you're in a steroid cycle, whether you're not in a steroid cycle, you always got to be eating healthy year round basically. That's because, and then every now and then, like once in a while, you might want to have like a free meal here and there basically, but other than that, like, you don't want to overcomplicate things, right? Bodybuilding is pretty simple. Eat whole foods, stick to your macros, train progressively, don't change your program, and that basically is it, right? What I like to do is I like to poke holes in my potatoes and put it in the microwave, because that's what keeps it simple, right? I usually microwave for something like 4 to 5 minutes. So let's probably add in some vegetables as well, because I did train weights today. Put some vegetables in more. So when it comes to vegetables, I usually like to keep it anywhere between something like 600 to 700 grams per day. Let me just see how many. I mean, I ate something like 124, something like 300. What's it? Something like 316 grams of vegetables. So fuck it, I might as well add in something like another. Let's see. like let's say like another 150 grams of vegetables, because for dinner it's like one of my favorite meals, right? Dates with casein, whole foods, and dates with casein mixed with mashed carrot, right? When you mash carrots, like it becomes like really really sweet. This more or less will probably come up to be at 150. There you go, it's 149 sharp, which will probably give me something like 30 calories. 26 calories, bingo, there you go. Right? Guesstimation is a very crucial skill that you need to develop, because you just don't want to be relying on food tracking, because what's going to happen when you go in social situations, right? So that basically is it. I'll probably stack up some peppers. Being Indian, I mean your gut's going to be like fucking bulletproof, right? So that's one of the benefits, right, of Indian genetics. So then, this is the amount of peppers. Basically, this will probably be something like 60, 70 grams, basically. That's 112 grams. So 112 grams of raw pepper will probably give me something like 25 calories, 26 calories, let's see. Bingo, it's 22, right? So that basically is it. We probably put these vegetables inside the fridge, and you won't be needing them for a long time right now. I like to like slightly shallow fry my vegetables, basically. Why do I like to do that? Because it makes it a bit more crispy. The potatoes are done. It's become nice and soft. Let's wait for it. Right, so guys, I am going to be pausing the video because I like to do my cooking alone. Hope you guys understand, but I'll show you what the end product looks like. So with regards to my meals, this is what the end product looks like. I like to keep it simple. Spices, chicken breast. That basically is it. You know? Let's probably see what's next, right? Stay tuned with my journey, and I'm just gonna go and enjoy this fucking meal, right? Alright, so it's time for dinner. This is like one of my favorite meals. I usually pull in a fair bit of calories towards the end of dinner because of time. So this is like mashed carrots with papayas, a little bit of stevia, and what else? Cocoa powder. And I usually like to bake it in the microwave for something like 3 minutes. Then I add in some casein to it, and what else? Some low-fat milk, and I eat and I sleep, right? And I stack it up with a lot of dates because dates are like one of my favorite foods. So yeah, that basically is it. I like to cook this in peace, so I'm just gonna show you what like the end product looks like, but fuck it, I mean, we might as well. Oops, wait, let me just, yeah, there you go. So we put it in a glass bowl, and this is still not the finished product yet. Wait a second. We've got to take every bit of it, right? Same bit of practices that we had in a deficit. We got to be practicing it at this point of time, right? So this is what like mashed carrots with a little bit of papayas and some almonds and cocoa powder looks like. I'm just gonna bake it for 3 minutes in the microwave and then we take it from there. So probably this is what it looks like. Now the next task we're gonna do is put in like some caramel or something like, let's see how much, right? So give or take, right? It's gonna be 40 ml of caramel, right? Just to give that nice caramel flavor. Let's see. Oh yeah. This milk is quite high in fat, right? So, I mean, it's pretty late. But anyways, I managed to cook the meal. And this is what the finished product looks like. Oops. So as you can probably see, dates with mashed carrots. And I usually leave it in the fridge for something like 5 to 10 minutes. And that basically is it. And yeah, have a nice one.